Hey everybody, I hope you don't mind the slightly odd camera angle. I just picked up a new mount. In fact, I'm just coming back from the UPS store. It's not exactly where I want it, but I have to figure out where we're going to put this thing to really feel good about it. But on the other hand, it should be much more stable. You should get a lot less of that car shake. I mean, the car's going to shake because it's a car. But there was a little bit of wobbliness in the attachment of the mount that we were using. So I don't know. We'll see if we can stay with this. It's up here next to my rear view mirror, so it's not in my way, but it's not where I'm used to my phone being. I don't know. We might have to come up with another solution, but for now it'll do. Anyway, I just wanted to jump live real quick and talk to you guys. I didn't speak to you yesterday, but I went and I saw Underworld Blood Wars the other day. You saw me talk a little bit about what came out of it. And it's interesting that it dovetails really nicely with, I don't know, some of the stuff we're talking about in knowing exactly what it is you're trying to do in any given situation. So, for instance, Underworld Blood Wars is not, it's not Shakespeare. This is not a super highbrow concept movie. In the end, this is, a really hot girl in a really tight outfit killing a bunch of vampires and werewolves, and there's a little bit of social overtone because they couldn't help themselves. They're trying to bring race into it. They spend a lot of time trying to overlay HIV onto the concept in the last couple of movies, and that's fine because they sort of kept it in the background. But movies like that, franchises like that, Fast and Furious, Underworld, a couple of the other really large ones, Bond in various incarnations, though you can really think of the Bond movies as a series of franchises as opposed to a single franchise. To the extent that they know their audience, they know exactly what they're doing, and they're going to keep trust with that audience, we'll keep going and see the movie. Was Underworld Blood Wars the most amazing special effects I've ever seen? No. Was the acting the best I've ever seen? No. Was the writing incredible? No, not at all. But it's not bad. And for what it is, it's incredibly entertaining and exactly what you expect it to be. There are some surprises in the margins, and that's great. So when you're dealing with your audience, to build a real audience, to build a loyal audience, I'm not saying you have to give the audience what they want. That's in fact the opposite of what I'm saying. What I'm saying is if you want to build an audience that really cares about what you're doing, you need to be authentic about what you're doing from the very beginning. You need to be doing something that you can sustain, that comes naturally to you, that will have a consistent through line in going into the future, because that's what audiences need. They'll take the occasional shock, but they don't want to come in one day and find out that, whatever. If you were doing a blog about skateboarding, a YouTube channel about skateboarding, and you had some skateboarding content and some non-skateboarding content every day, and you were kind of talking about what's happening in your life, and then you suddenly do a couple episodes that are entirely focused around, this following a pigeon you saw in the park around, you're going to lose an audience after a little while. Some people will follow along with you, but some people will drift away because it doesn't fit with why they're coming to you. I'm not saying you're going to betray them. I'm not saying that you have a moral obligation to never change. I'm just saying you have to be aware of how you do these things affects the trust you've built up with your audience. If you are doing a vlog or a YouTube channel that every day is about positive ideation, we're going to get together every day, we're going to talk about what's positive in our lives, we're going to talk about what's positive for the future. If that's the habit and the model you've built with your audience over 100 episodes, and then they come in and they get 5 episodes of you being deeply political, you are going to lose a significant fraction of that audience because you've broken their trust, and they're not going to see it that way. But what they're going to feel is that they had sort of this idea that they had allotted a certain amount of time out of their lives, and it's an exchange, right? They're giving that time to you, and they're obviously doing that because they get something valuable out of the content you're giving them. And if you radically mess with that value exchange, then the people who were making that trade for you go away, and you might get another audience. I mean, there might be a much bigger audience around depression, or it might turn out there's 8 billion pigeon people there, and so the pigeon channel on YouTube will do incredibly well. It may be that you've simply lost interest in your old content. It's all valid. I'm not saying you can't be flexible and change. Or there's a guy on YouTube who calls himself the King of Random, and essentially the whole point of his channel is you basically don't know what you're going to get every time you go there. Of course, the pattern is always the same. He's had a weird idea, he builds it, he shows you how to build it, and in the end you have a thing you could build at home. So even that is building a trust model. When I sit down and I put one of his videos on, I sort of know where we're going in that. Anyway, that was just my thought, or as I was thinking about why, and people get really upset about the fact that movies like Underworld and movies like Fast and Furious do incredibly well, even though they don't check all these really highbrow boxes for artistic merit or whatever it is they're looking for out of it. And there's a thing a lot of people I know say, which is true, which is, yeah, but that movie was exactly what I wanted from it. It was a popcorn movie. It was a summer blockbuster. I know when I go see the next Michael Bay Transformers movie, roughly speaking, what it is I'm getting myself into. And that's part of the exchange. I'm giving you my time, you're giving me a thing. And if you surprise me and that surprise works out incredibly well, then I'll feel good about the exchange. But if I sit down to a Transformers movie and get an hour and a half of meeting the Kardashians and, social commentary, and, there's only one robot at the end of that movie, then that's not what I went there for, and it's not what I was expecting. And I might not have traded that time to you right now. I might have gone to see whatever movie it is you made anyway at another time, but this afternoon when I was busy at work and I just wanted to take an hour and a half off and see some robot smash stuff, that wasn't the trade I was making. Anyway, speaking of audience trades, thanks for sticking with me. These vlogs are very stream of consciousness. If there's any model we're developing, it's that I'm just going to talk to you in this forum about what's on my mind. We're, roughly speaking, looks like we're sort of starting to use this area to talk about life hacks, or if you want to talk about it, sort of modeling success and the tools that I'm using to do that and my other projects. Most of the politics are going to be moving as they have been. You've noticed there's less and less politics in this channel, and more of it's going off to herd watching. That's going to continue, though I will almost certainly still bring up political topics here every now and then if I want to just hit the button and jump on and rant. For technical reasons, with the way YouTube and Facebook and everybody is set up, it's not very easy on your phone to just decide I'm going to jump live on this and broadcast all the medium that I broadcast to. All right, folks, I hope you're having a fantastic Monday, and I will probably talk to you before Wednesday. Take it easy, and thanks for watching.